Hmm.
um, customer.
Okay. My my fourth question, and those three questions I would just like to say that was more of like communication between those parties. So we're done with that, and I've learned so much, and I really do thank you for taking the time out of your day. My fourth question would be in a booming city like we were in Austin, there is more apartments and suburbs just being built every single day. You see it all the time
Mm-hmm.
when you walk and when you drive down the street. To stay competitive in this market, do you believe that at some point you'll have to kind of change what you do to stay competitive and continue to have the cash flow flowing in?
That's a very good question. Well, I am. I've always. I've been in my business. I've been painting and doing restoration 36 years.
Hmm.
My business, I mainly focus on historical houses, which is the embankment which I was referring to, removing the lead paint.
Hmm.
But after removing the lead paint, I paint it. So, but it is a difference in painting an old house because you're dealing with um, older wood. See, the wood that you buy now at Home Depot, this is how it starts off. Logging. When logging took place in, say, Bastrop, that was 100 years ago, something like that.
Uh huh.
But when they did the logging, when they cut the trees, they would plant little trees to replace them. Okay, the older trees were two, three, 400 years old, which means the wood is harder, more, different. Now the wood you buy in Home Depot is the younger trees,
Hmm.
which aren't as hard a wood. It's not as old. So it's a lot of things about the older wood that you need to, like for the primer. Primer is what you put on before the paint. The primer has to penetrate that wood to give the paint something to stick to.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the primer also penetrate the paint penetrates that primer a little bit.
Hmm.
If you're using, let's say, uh, like for the older wood, it's best to use an oil-based primer because it's thinner and it penetrates better. Newer wood, people tend to use a water-based paint, which dries a lot faster.
Hmm.
It doesn't need to penetrate through that hard wood. It doesn't need that much time to dry. But in answer to your question, going to being that um, being that things are being built, it's more newer houses than older houses. I'll be honest with you. I like sticking to what I do.
Hmm.
Sometimes, even though it may seem like the same thing, it's just painting. It's just painting. It's not. Because these new projects that they're building are expensive.